Another edition of the On the Mic podcast, and it's a doubleheader weekend for Bellator MMA. And last time I talked to this man, I really felt, I don't get wrapped up in every fighter's fight, but I really felt after our conversation last time that we were about to see an evolution, a second coming, if you will, of the man on the other side of this interview. That is the one and only Christian Edwards. Christian, I love the vibe we had going into your last fight. I know things very unfortunately did not turn out in a way that you could compete, but you're back and you're fighting in Hawaii, as you just told me off camera, man. What a great vibe to have going into fight week, huh?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I'm pumped. It's I feel like it worked out exactly the way it was supposed to, and everything turned out the way it did. So I'm excited, man. I believe this is my moment, and yeah, man, I'm just ready to get the job done.
I feel like I've talked to you enough, and I know you and your team well enough that we could just really shoot the shit, right? Like I don't have to sugarcoat anything. Man, what a difference, right? No disrespect to any opponent you've ever fought, but you had a guy that you were coming back from after the unfortunate Ben Parrish fight, and then that fight doesn't take place, and they turn around and give you Grant Neal to face this weekend. I mean, there's a ranking attached to that opponent. There's a high profile weekend attached to this fight. Like, I mean, this is all eyes on this fight, once the bell rings. How do you feel about it?
I feel good, man. This is the fight that I always knew that they would, make for me one day, just because they've built us up in a very similar way. And, I have a lot of respect for Grant Neal, and I'm definitely not going to overlook him. I'm not going to overlook him at all, but I definitely believe that overall I'm a more well-rounded fighter than he is. Everybody knows that his game plan is to double leg you and to get you to the ground and hold you down. That's his game plan every fight. And with me, I can win the fight wherever I choose, so I believe that the advantage as far as just being well-rounded goes to me, and it's really going to show in this fight. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. This is the biggest fight of my career, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, and it sets up really and I never want to talk negatively when talking to a fighter like yourself, right? But the stakes, right? The stakes in this fight are so huge. Both young prospects, as you just mentioned. They're building you guys up kind of similarly, right? And now, if there's a second L, it kind of hurts momentum of where the career trajectory can go, at least inside Bellator's light heavyweight division. This isn't definitely not a must win, but after talking to you and right before this last fight that was unfortunately canceled, I just felt that I was hearing something of a guy who's been in 50 fights, not 6 in his career. And for me, when you have this opportunity, knowing like, hey, this is all mine for the taking, I just got to go take care of business. How much more does that kind of influence your mindset coming into a fight rather than it just being like, all right, this is another fight to help me get more experience? Like, this isn't just an experience fight. This is a prove yourself fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely sensed that the moment they offered the fight, I sensed that, because there is a lot on the line in this fight, and I realize what's at stake, and it is the most important fight of my career. And, I've always been the kind of person that thrives under pressure. Pressure has never been a problem for me, and it's really going to show in this fight, because that's when I compete at my best is when I really feel the pressure, of the moment. And I want to feel that, because it makes me work harder. It makes me push harder, and it makes me fight harder, and that's what I want on Friday, ultimately.
So I know when we talked last time, we were talking about the fight against Ben Parrish and things not going your way. And your mindset was beautiful, man. I mean that from the heart. Like, that was something I wish every fighter could have, win or lose, was the clarity and almost peace of mind. Not saying that you're like, whatever, it's a loss. Nobody wants a loss on their record. But the way you handled it, at least verbally through our interview, was incredible. And I'll always tip my hat to you for that. But then it goes a step further, right? Because I was like, can't wait to see what Christian does. This is a great fight for him to come back to. And then obviously that fight gets canceled. when you're dealing with these like opportunities that you have to grow your career, and it seems like just something comes and tries to stop the momentum, I guess the easy question for me here, Christian Edwards, is how do you not get thrown off your path? Because most people would just give up sometimes.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, I've always been a like mind over matter kind of person, you know. Like I always have been good at having like a lot of willpower, you know what I mean? Like I don't you know like get deterred easily, you know. So I never look at anything as too much, you know, and I didn't, you know, nothing changed, you know, when that last fight got canceled. I kept training, you know. I took some time off, but I kept training, and then they offered Grant Neal, and honestly, it's the same mindset going into this fight. You know, it's just, you know, it's a must win, and at the end of the day, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to come out on top. And yeah, you know, this is my moment. So Grant Neal's a great opponent. I have a lot of respect for him, but he's not going to take this away from me.
Yeah, and I can hear the calmness and kind of locked in mindset that you have coming into this weekend, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. When you talk about Grant Neal as an opponent, someone you respect, and you kind of know the game plan, what is your team in Albuquerque? How did they help you for a guy, an opportunity, and a challenge like a Grant Neal presents?
Well, you know, I mean, you know how the coaches are. You know, they have more than enough experience in every kind of style that you could possibly imagine in MMA. You know, like they've seen it all, they've done it all, they've cornered against every kind of style you could possibly imagine. So, you know, when I talk to Coach Wink and I talk to Coach Greg and even Coach Joey too, you know, it gives me a lot of clarity, and it gives me a lot of peace, because I know I already know how the fight's gonna go, but hearing them say it just gives me that much more confidence, you know, because they see what I see as well, but in a more experienced perspective, you know. And that's what I definitely appreciate about my coaches, is that they have experience and they have knowledge, and they share it with me every day. So yeah, definitely, man.
And it's a hell of a team of coaches to get that, you know, that mindset from the amazing team down there in JacksonWink. I know I asked you about him before, and he had some unfortunate news with his opponent having to be pulled from his fight. But once again, you and your teammate, Davion Franklin, preparing for fights around the same time as each other. I know last time you guys were scheduled to fight on the same card. I heard the enthusiasm and the thrill in your voice when I talked to you last time about it. Even though his fight's not going down as scheduled, I'll ask you the same thing I asked you last time. What is it like having that guy, your friend, your teammate, your brother, a guy that you get to train with every single day? What is it like having him there when you guys are both training for a fight around the same time?
You know, it's great, man. You know, it's honestly, it's really something that I need. You know what I mean? Like I need that kind of energy around me. You know, because Davion, if anybody else knows what it takes to be great, like he has that mindset of I'm great, you know, and I'm capable of greatness, you know, and I have that too, you know. So seeing that in someone else, and not just someone else, but like a real like friend to me, you know, like somebody that I consider like a brother, you know. And yeah, you know, seeing that in the gym, and me and him just helping each other get better is priceless, you know. And yeah, no, it's great having him around every day for sure.
I know I asked you this before, but you know, due to the unfortunate events that followed your last fight, we didn't get to share that interview. Man, the way your guys' careers, with you and Davion, just kind of skyrocket side by side, right? How often, or if ever, do you guys just sit at the gym after a training session or doing whatever you guys do, and do you talk about like we spoke this into existence? We're well on our way to what we know we're capable of doing.
Yeah, just about every day normally, when we get done training, usually Monday through Thursday. You know, we have our afternoon classes with Coach Greg or Coach Wink, and you know, after each class, we always just sit and talk for a while. And most of the time, that's usually what we're talking about, is just like how we spoke things into existence, and that, you know, we're both well on our way to being champions, you know. And you know what we're capable of. And like I said, you know, he takes his career very, very seriously, just like I do. He knows what it takes to be great, and he's just got a unstoppable mindset, you know, and I really respect that, and I feed off of that, you know. Yeah, man, you know, he's definitely my favorite person to have around as far as training partners go, for sure.
Yeah, and I love just watching the career of both of you guys individually, but also together. And I know how much better you make him, and vice versa when you guys are in the training room. I asked you this right before we started, but man, given all the circumstances, right? You're gonna come back, you're gonna fight some guy, kind of get the wheels going again. You know, after the Ben Parrish fight, unfortunately, COVID hits, but now you're back. You're fighting in Hawaii with a big name opponent, the biggest fight of your career. You're in Hawaii, man, and you said no better way to kick off fight week. What's it like being in Hawaii right now for fight week?
Oh man, it's great. You know, this is truly an amazing experience, and you know, I'm grateful for it. You know, it's something that I always hoped that one day I would be able to do. You know, I remember even after my pro debut in Bellator, I was talking about I hope the next fight card they put me on is in Hawaii and stuff like that. You know, so it's good that it's finally, you know, like also speaking something else into existence. You know, it's finally happening. You know, and yeah, man, it's good. You know, I feel great. You know, like I really feel this moment. You know, and I feel like it's really my moment. And yeah, man, no, I'm excited. I'm pumped for sure.
I love it, man. It's like you and Davion both speak everything into existence. But I gotta ask, what I obviously Bellator fans know your name, and you're obviously just looking to right that last wrong. But more than that, what do you bring into Hawaii this weekend?
Man, I'm just gonna tell you now, the main thing for me in this fight is just pressure and making him fight my fight. You know, that's the main thing for me in this fight is just making him fight my fight, pressure and the pace that I can keep for the whole 3 rounds is too, I believe, is too much for him, and he's really gonna fold the moment I really start to turn the pressure on. So yeah, man, just dominance. That's what I can say. Dominance is what you're gonna see in this fight for sure.
I think there's no better way for you to come back and have that type of mindset, and then obviously the follow-up performance to back those words up. But man, Christian, I feel like I asked last time, and I'm gonna ask again. I just don't like, man, there's been so many things that have been thrown your way in your career early on that some people would get deterred. Some people would stay away for a year, 2 years. They don't want to fight again. They think they lost momentum. And but you, even with all the things, getting pulled because of a condition, a heart condition that wasn't a heart condition, because of COVID, having your first pro loss, like how do you have such a stable mindset? Like I literally keep saying it every time I talk to you. I feel like I'm talking to a 55 veteran. What is it? Yourself, your coaches, your management. What does your team do, and what do you do with your team to keep this mindset?
You know, honestly, man, it's really just my belief in myself, man. You know what I mean? Like I truly believe in myself. I believe in what I'm capable of, and like I said, you know, I've always been a person with a lot of willpower, you know, and you know, I don't get deterred easily at all. So Grant Neal, you know, is just an obstacle that's in my way, but I can overcome any obstacle. You know, like no obstacle is too great for me. So I respect him, and you know I definitely look forward to the fight. But he's not gonna he's not gonna make it out of this fight. Like we're gonna go to war, and I'm gonna finish him. You know I really believe that, and I feel that. You know, definitely.
I love that, man. When obviously you talked about when this fight was offered to you, and when you talk about all the events that you've had to endure over the last couple of years, how do you, and is it you, is it your team? How do you kind of keep this patient and calm approach to your career? Because a lot of people in your shoes would maybe want to fight to get that time back. Is this something that you're prepared for war this weekend against Grant Neal, and then you want to turn around quickly to make up for lost time, or are you just going to continue to follow the kind of patient approach you have?
You know, honestly, I'm completely content with the way that this journey has turned out for me so far. You know, and I believe that the momentum I'll build off of this fight after I win this fight will definitely catapult me into the top 10 for sure, you know. And then from that point on, I just want top 10 guys, you know, because I'm trying to fight the best in the world, you know, because I want to be world champion, you know. That's why I'm doing this, you know, like that's the only reason I'm doing this is because I want to be world champion, you know. So I want to fight the best guys in the world. And after this fight, they're going to put me back in the top 10, and it's up to them really whenever they want to put me back in there. You know, I'm here, you know, I stay ready. I train through, you know, year round. So yeah, I mean, it's up to them, but I'm ready to fight the best guys in the world.
You're absolutely must-see TV. You talked about your mindset of what the opponent of a Grant Neal brings to this. But all in all, when you step into that cage this weekend, you already said you're prepared for war. But what does this win? You just said it. They'll put you back in the top 10. We know that. What does a win over Grant Neal mean to Christian Edwards and in his 2022?
Well, this fight definitely is gonna be my defining moment, and it's gonna show a lot of people that, you know, I'm here to stay, and that my, you know, my skill set is just as good and just as legit as anybody else in the top 10, if not better, you know. And I think a lot of people are going to see that in this fight.
Well, Christian Edwards, always great to talk to you. If you know me, you kind of know my rules. I hate talking to fighters on fight week, and just a couple of days removed from your next fight, I'm very excited, and I honestly very thankful that you gave me the time, you know, this evening here. I know it's kind of daytime where you're at, but to talk to me on fight week, it means a lot. I wish you all the best, and can't wait to see what happens this weekend for you. And hopefully we can talk after your fight.
Hell yeah, for sure, man. Definitely.
Thanks, Christian.
Yeah. Thanks, man.